red, blue, purple light. Friends, red, blue, purple light. Friends, flags, red, blue, purple light. Friends, red and blue, purple light. Friends, facts. You can get to know the ledger, sacrilegious Sunday to melanin Monday. You can get to know the ledger, my love. Just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land focused on the ego. Then I opened my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah, we gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts, we in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts, peace, love and light. Peace, love to the family. Peace, love and light. To the family. Peace, love and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you and it's going to provoke you and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.
Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Peace to the family, peace to you and yours. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursdays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar, reporting live and direct. Yes, indeed. And that song that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Facts remix by the 44 Tops. Yes, indeed. Clap it up for the 44 Tops. That's my shit right there. Put me in a whole nother mind state. That song officially is a portal, okay? It's a portal, right? In the form of a song. Things like that exist. Portals masquerading as songs, okay? And when you catch it, and when it catches you, it brings you into this place, into this sacred space. No matter what's going on, when you hear those sounds, when you hear that orchestra, okay? So I want to say peace, love, and light to the family. Welcome to Know the Ledger 444, all right? Third Eye Thursdays. We are in the building, you dig? We are in the building. Shout out to everybody pulling up and whatnot. Peace to everybody in the building. We about to do roll call to see who is up in this mother. Feel like it's been a minute and whatnot, but we back. You know what I'm talking about? Like we never left. We in the building. You know what I'm talking about? We outside. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's get it going. We're gonna talk. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna have some good conversation tonight. Talk about a few things. All right, let's do the roll call. Katy, Texas. Baby Lexus. I drive a baby blue Lexus through Katy, Texas. And she made me breakfast. Alexis made me breakfast in Katy, Texas. She picked me up in a baby Lexus. Hey. Naptown. We got Naptown in the building. San Diego, Detroit in the building. Cleveland, Ohio in the building. St. Louis in the, we got Connecticut in the building. We got Seminole, Florida, land of we got Spalding, Georgia. Talk black to me. Tallahassee in the building. You know what I'm talking about? We got Charlotte in the building. Yeah. We have the Dominican Republic in the hey. Shout out to the Dominican Republic, and we sending y'all love and light to the DR, to the family out there in the DR. Heard about the tragedy that took place with the roof collapsing at the nightclub, and there was a lot of casualties. There's a lot of people in the building that night, I heard as well, baseball players and whatnot. So sending out condolences to the family in the DR. We have Phoenix, via Los Angeles, East Flatbush, Virginia, Wisconsin, T-Dot, Toronto. What's happening, T-Dot? Hey, Jay McDonald, what's happening? How y'all doing? LBC in the building. Shout out to the LBC. Shout out to Sanford in the building. What up, though? Global beings, earthly beings, galactical beings. How's the weather in everybody's side of town? I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I must say that we are experiencing semi-spring-like weather. When I say semi-spring-like, it's iffy. Some days it's popping, some days it's flopping. But nonetheless, the leaves have grown on the trees. The grass went from brown to green damn near overnight. The flowers are budding. The leaves, the greenery is back. Atlanta's like a forest. So we're seeing signs of life. Pollen everywhere. It's still Polynesia. Spring is kind of springing a bit. You in LA, 70 in the Bay. Okay, it was snowing in Buffalo. New York is warm. Oh, Washington, D.C. in the building. Okay, 78 in the LBC. Thailand, sunny in Thailand. That's what's up. It's cold in the D. It's so cold in the D. It's all good though. You know what I mean? It's gonna be warming up everywhere. We in the New Year's. Aries season. Shout out to all of my Aries. Very special people. I celebrated my son's birthday party. What day was it? Sunday? Still recovering from that. Still recovering from that. You feel me? Shout out to all of the Aries out there. B More was a little chilly. Y'all had snow today in Toronto. What the blood? What the helly? What the hell? What the helly? What are you talking about? It's snow. It's April. What the helly? It shouldn't be snowing nowhere on this damn planet. The yay. Shout out to the yay. Yeah. But yeah, yeah. The birds and the bees, they active. So, it's here. You know what I'm saying? It's here. We made it through. This is the New Year's. So shout out to the New Year's. Peace from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Shout out to Mass. Yo. What the helly? April the 10th. Did you see that shit, bro? Did you see the video? Crazy. Right in the Hudson. What the helly? Like, where do they do that at? Wait, it's your birthday? I didn't even read that correctly. Happy birthday. Everybody in the building say happy birthday to Jay McDonald. This is a KTLian. This is a KTLian. All right. Jersey City in the building. What the helicopter? That was crazy. Well, if anybody didn't see it, there was a helicopter that fell out of the sky, right? Fell out of the sky. Damn near looked like it was out of when I looked at the video, it was falling in such a limp way that it basically looked like it might have been zapped. The power was completely gone. It didn't even have smoke coming from it. It was just falling from the sky, like, yeah, shit looking crazy. Shit looked crazy. There's a lot of happy birthdays in the building. Yeah, you're getting a lot of love. You're getting a lot of love. Yes, B-Dell, to this day. You know what I mean? He said what he said, and to this day, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. It's been a lot of flooding, April showers. You feel me? It's been a lot of flooding as well. Yes. A lot of birthday love in the building. You got a lot of birthday love. Okay, the song in the beginning, you can have access to the song on Buy Me a Coffee. Right there on Buy Me a Coffee. You go to Buy Me a Coffee and go into store, and then you'll see the song is available for 99 cents. Or if you buy me a coffee, you could claim the song and whatnot as a result of that. So the song is called a Fax Remix. That's how you get access to it. You know what I'm saying? It's another storm coming in strong in where? In New York? Where the storm coming? And was that crash a result of the storm in New York? The one with the helicopter? Okay, another one is coming. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. I work for the government building weapons, tanks, submarines, Gulfstream jets, robots, and other electronics. We've been on 60 hours mandatory overtime building weapons, planning something. Yes, that is definitely what is taking place right now. As you can see, there's a lot of moving, a lot of pieces on the chessboard are moving around, and these people are making plays. You see it with the stock market falling, crashing, this great market crash, then the shit bouncing back. A little bit of inside trader with the gangsters that are in the White House and whatnot, with the with the Queen mobster who's running the goddamn government right now. They doing plays in front of the people's faces. They running plays. They running pips. You feel me? Your president is a day trader. The air is charged, and we got a double sunset before GT. Oh man. Full moon 413, pink moon. Yes, indeed. Trump posed those tariffs on China at 104% and called them back and got paid real quick. You saw that play, right? You saw that play. The play was, yo, literally, that was the Trump coin part 2. Do you remember when he came out with the Trump coin and a whole bunch of people got rich, right? And then the coin basically crashed and whatnot. They did the same thing. He did the equivalent to that with these tariffs when he put a tweet out and said it was a great time to buy, right? At that time, the stocks were in the quote unquote basement. There was blood on the floor and whatnot. The stocks were in red, right? They were on sale. There was a clearance sale. There was a sample sale on stocks. He told his investors, he told these bankers, he told, and you could say that he's a gangster or a mobster. Okay, whatever. He's playing it, you know what I mean? There's a game to be played, and you're seeing the shit getting played right there in front of your faces. He told his people, nigga, hello, like, this is how you become wealthy. You wait for the sales. So you got whales waiting for sales. And then when the sale hits, that's when they clean it up. And then you seen the next day, shit shot right back up and whatnot. You literally would have tripled and quadrupled your money in about a day's time. And then it fell again. But it's a game being played. Shout out to everybody who shorted this shit. Shout out to everybody that shorted it. Shout out to everybody that ran the play and knew what they was doing and made a few dollars playing against the play. You know what I mean? It's very interesting the times that we're in right now. I mean, really think about it. Very interesting. Very interesting. They got the people playing games. It's almost like Squid Game, and you could bet against, there's like a betting aspect. There's a Vegas aspect to the Squid Games or the Hunger Games type shit. There's a lot of opportunities that are presenting themselves. I can't go over all of those opportunities tonight. Fortunately and unfortunately, this is not the time and the place to go over these things, but we will have to definitely reconvene very soon within the span of this month and whatnot, and discuss in detail the many opportunities that are presenting themselves, right? In the midst of all of the corruption, in the midst of all of the chaos, there is order that is presenting itself. Straight like that. The action figures are coming very soon. We are going to launch the pre-sale on the action figures. That is on the way. You are going to have access to action figures for your altar. Let me go ahead. Thank you for reminding me. Let me pull up this video just to show people who may not have been tapped in what it is that we're doing and some of the things that we're working on. It's always important to keep the family updated and whatnot. That is of imperative importance. So if you will give us a minute, let me access the files, and we'll share some information with everybody. And we do have some sponsors for tonight's show as well. We got to get that out the way. I'll get to it in a minute. Give me a minute. Yeah, man. So shout out to but like I said, we'll be bringing a show very soon. It may even be like a masterclass, and it's going to be dealing with it's going to be sponsored by Stream Chasers, and it's going to have an aspect of the Facts Initiative, Facts 25 with it. And we're going to be dealing with some solutions. I'm going to bring some people with me. You feel me? I'm going to bring company. I'm going to tap into my network, and we're going to get lit. And we're going to bring some stuff to y'all. There's a lot of solutions that are presenting themselves. A lot of opportunity. What a fucking time to be alive. You know, what a fucking time to be aligned. You know, what a effing time to be tapped in. What a time to be on the frequency of the most high. What a time to be tapped into a higher frequency. You know, you're beginning to see things that people probably cannot see. You're beginning to hear things. Things are becoming more quote unquote, things are revealing themselves to those who can see. And those who can't see, they don't see what's being revealed to them and literally in plain sight. And it's okay. And that's no one's duty to help those who cannot see to see. That's not your duty. That's not what you were sent here to do, unless you feel like that is your duty. If that's something that you feel in your heart is your calling and whatnot, then you go ahead and you make that happen. However, for everybody else, don't feel guilty that people don't see shit the way that you see it. Don't take it personal that people are not experiencing life the way that you're experiencing and whatnot. Don't quote unquote, don't start doubting yourself if everybody in your circle or somebody who look just like you or somebody who shares your last name and whatever or somebody who's a part of your bloodline might not be experiencing what you are experiencing at the moment. It's okay. You know what I mean? It's okay. This is literally your journey right now. And this is like your hero's journey. And you got to know that you're the main character. And people who are playing this quote unquote supporting character role and whatnot, they are playing their position in this movie that you're in. You're calling them family members. Okay, cool. You're calling them friends. All right, great. You're calling them lovers, and all right, whatever you want to name them in the script, whatever role they're gonna play, that's the role that they play. It doesn't take away the fact that they're your supporting cast and whatnot in your movie where you are creating your reality. And that's a good thing. You live in a day and time right now where your imagination, right, can take you to places that your hands probably couldn't take you, because you would have to work too long using your hands to take you to the lengths of where your imagination can take you in these day and time that we live in right now. And I'm talking about being presently present. I'm talking about being presently present. No disrespect to anybody who doesn't they're living in the now, but mentally they're on another timeline, right? Mentally they're on another timeline. You met people like that physically they're right here with you in the present and whatnot, but mentally they're in another timeline. They might be in antebellum South. They might be in the 60s and whatnot with dude in them in Selma. You feel me? They might be with the Panthers in the 70s and whatnot. They might be in the 80s. They might be in the 90s. They might be in any different time line. They might be in the future. Nothing wrong with any of that. I'm not here. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not ridiculing anyone about that. I'm not comparing it and making it seem like it's a negative, because it's not. However, what I mean by being presently present in the right now and the now is because you'll be able to see it more clearly about what it is that we have in front of us right now. You know? So for those with the very active imaginations where your mind is just pouring out idea after idea after idea after idea, to the point where you might not be able to sleep sometimes. You have to keep a pad on the side of the bed and whatnot so you could jot down these ideas, or you have your voice notes, because it's just flowing and whatnot. It's download after download after download. In those meditations of yours and whatnot, you're getting those downloads. You're seeing clear visions about stories that you want to tell, ideas that you want to bring to life, characters that need to be heard and whatnot. Children, the inner child that may even need to quote unquote be heard and whatnot. You know, when I say characters, I mean personalities, I mean personas, I mean avatars, right? I mean voices that people have inside of their diamond mind, inside of their gold mind, inside of their treasure chest, what is their quote unquote mind, which is expansive, which is unlimited, you know what I mean? Which is considered to be priceless if you mine it correctly. So I'm here to let you know, as a humble servant and whatnot, one who comes forward and speaks on things based off of the research that I've done, the field research, the hands-on research, the book research, and the deep dive and whatnot, that I'm here to let you know that the tools that you need to bring your ideas to life are currently available, and they could be you can have you could put your hands on those tools. There's no intermedium, there's no middleman, there's nobody in the way. They're all access. You can access all of these tools right now. Right now. You know, this is something that you can do right now. The idea that we got, and it wasn't the other day, mind you, let's be clear. These shows are timestamped. There's conversations that we were having on this platform. I'm talking about there's Fantasy Complex Industry 1. I did that 2 years ago, right? I'm doing the reloaded on tomorrow. There's lectures that I did going back before that, where I was saying the importance of owning the toy industry and being able to create toys in our images, how detrimental that was. And we also was speaking about the mystic aspects of doing what? Creating mythology, right, amongst us. Blue Pill did a lecture talking about the quote unquote Black Christos mythos, taking real life people and lionizing them and wrapping them in the mythos, right? So Bobby Hemmett becomes a quote unquote a comic book character, or Bobby Hemmett becomes a quote unquote mystical character, and you use him as the source, but you create a mythical character of him that everybody knows is him. Similar to what Stan Lee and Jack Kirby did when they took Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, lionized them, and created mythological characters by the name of Professor X and Magneto, right? This is what they do, right? This is what they do. Yes, the Super Hero Toys is a divine, it is a divine, it's one of those divine ideas that makes sense across the border, because this is something that has to happen. It serves two purposes. One purpose is for the altar, right? These are called figurines. These are not toys. These are called figurines that have the ability to be consecrated. Sometimes they come in porcelain, sometimes they come in marble, sometimes they come in plastic, sometimes they come in wood and whatnot. But this is what they utilize around the world as consecrated totems and as consecrated quote unquote altar pieces. These are the master teachers, both living and crossed over, by the way. Okay. But they are to be summoned. They are to be quote unquote put on the altar. They are to be activated, right? Why not? Why not? They are to be venerated, not worshiped in an idolatry. We're not talking about that. We're talking about consecration of the totem, of the quote unquote figurine, for the powers that it possesses and the energy that it represents and whatnot, and the quote unquote myth that it's tied to. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is the toy part. Who is that for? for two people, the adults, because we collect toys, right? We collect toys. We come from a bloodline of toy, quote unquote. Man, we had toys in Kemet, bro. We had toys in Kemet, and it's more important because it's for the children. So now they get Delbert Blair, they get Dr. Sabi, they get Bobby Hemmett, and these people are in the toy universe with powers now. That's how they're introduced. We know who they are, but to our children, they're part of the mythos. They have powers now. You feel me? They're part of their toy collection and whatnot. They're wizards, they're warlocks. The Ankhs opened up portals and whatnot. You feel me? Dr. Sabi, he heals you with a stick. Like holistic. Huh? They're fighting against the quote unquote hold on. Yeah, for some reason they made my damn camera go out. They're fighting against the negative forces of the man, the machine, the matrix, they who are not like us, right? So this is very important. This is something that is going to go down as a very important project. And there are things that I'm able to do now in terms of accelerating the production and making sure this comes to market that it was very difficult to do about 2 years ago. It's not difficult anymore. It's not difficult anymore, right? I want to do this in front of the public to show our community that you literally are living in a day and time where you can have an enlightened idea. And if you have the correct network and the budget and whatnot, you could bring that idea to life. You could bring that idea to life. You could get that idea to markets, right? You could get that idea on a global stage and whatnot. These are the times that we're living in right now. We don't need nobody's permission to tell us when we could do things, how we could do things, where we could do things, who we could do things with and whatnot. We're not owned by no corporation. We're not contracted to a corporation. We don't have managers telling us when we could talk and when we can't talk. We're not that part of our society. You can make anything imaginable with a 3D printer. Thank you. So now with ChatGPT 4.0, I'm giving y'all the game. When you generate a 3D asset, right? When you upload a picture and you say, yo, make this a 3D asset, right? It will give you the quote unquote, it will give you the file that you basically could just take to a 3D printer, right? And make a 3D design. You feel me? So the ability to make high quality collectibles without that middleman, it's literally staring us in the face. Let me see something. Let me see. Boom. I'm gonna pull up my chat GPT. Right? So y'all can see it, right? You see it? This is chat GPT, right? So I put a picture in there. I told it what to turn it into. It turned it into that picture, right? Ghibli Studio reference. I put this picture with me and Bobby and Amir, right? And then boom, that's what it turned it into, right? You could do this all day. You could do this all day. Imagine if you had time on your hands. Imagine if you had time on your hands and you had a phone and whatnot, right? Just imagine that. So for people that they got time on their hands, y'all are in the best place right now. Shit. You might shoot past the knuckle draggers. Right? So instead of me doom scrolling, you know what I do? I create. Right? I'm not doom scrolling that much. Not to say that I'm not doing a little bit of doom scrolling, but not as much. Instead of doom scrolling, I'm prompting. Right? I'm creating comic books. I'm creating toys and whatnot. Right? What we talking about? So this is the original artwork. Right? This is the original artwork. Okay. This is the original one. And then I took the original artwork and I said, turn that shit into 3D. And then boom, it turned it into 3D. Feel me? Turn it into 3D. Then they gave me another render. Feel me? Oh, y'all don't get to see it when I blow up the picture. But yeah. This is Chat GPT 4, right? This is Chat GPT 4. It gets busy. So now you literally could create your own comic book, right? Based off of if you had a comic book when you were a child. Feel me? If you had a comic book when you was a child, or if you had like drawings and whatnot, sketches and things of that nature, you literally could just create your own thing right now. Do y'all teach what program to use to turn a half picture into full pictures and 3D images? That's the problem I'm having. Do y'all have that in class? Yes, we do have that in class. Great way to segue into the sponsor of the day. Great way to segue. Let's get right to it. All right. Not only do we have that in class, but tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be presenting to you our first inaugural class, right, for the fantasy complex industry, featuring me and the good brother Spin City. All right. Now, we've been doing these workshops every month, and this is the month where we decided that we're going to take everything that we've been learning over the past 4 months or for the first quarter of 2025, and we're going to apply it now to building out our own industries. This is about ownership. Okay. This is about ownership. This is about taking something that is ours and and benefiting off of it, monetizing it, creating digital assets that we could pass down to generations. Fantasy complex industry, a quick overview. The Reloaded It's a 4-week intensive workshop designed for entrepreneurs, creatives, and enthusiasts, right? It's beginner to intermediates with AI tools. And the purpose is to build their own entertainment mini industry or intellectual property, which we call IP. It expands on a prior successful project by diving deeper into actionable strategies. Participants will explore the intersection of 5 creative sectors: comics, cartoons, toys, video games, and animation in an integrated way rather than isolating each medium. Over 4 weeks, attendees will learn to leverage modern AI tools for text, image, video, audio, 3D animation, and game development, which is GPT, Midjourney, Runway, 11 Labs, Pika Labs, Kyber, Unity, Kling, Leonardo, etc., while emphasizing creative ownership, world building, and control over distribution. Each week combines lecture sessions, concept, case studies, and demos with hands on exercises, creative projects using AI, along with deliverables like slides, worksheets, and assignments. By the end, participants will have a multi format content portfolio for their IP, a distribution and monetization plan, and the confidence to turn their imaginative universe into a sustainable venture. Okay. So, that right there, ladies and gentlemen. And the link for that is right there in Buy Me a Coffee. If you go to store on Buy Me a Coffee, you can have access to it. And I'm also going to drop the link right now for the Eventbrite in the chat. All right. I'm going to drop it right now in the chat for anybody that's interested in signing up. And by signing up, also, you'll have access tonight. By signing up, you will have access to the first fantasy complex industry that we did at Nicholas Bookstore. I believe it was about a year or 2 years. Yeah, it was a year ago. Okay. It was a year ago. Need music for your games? Yeah, we need music for a lot of things. Okay. We need music for a lot of things. I'm signed up, Red. Can't wait to get these books animated. That's right. I can't wait to see you animate your books. You know what I mean? One of the best feelings is to see people bring their artwork and stuff like that to life. The look on their face when they upgrade their work, you know what I'm saying, to a higher level, for a higher level. And this is for all ages. It's not like we're going to be using adult themes and whatnot. This is for all ages. We'll keep it PG, you know what I mean? We'll keep it PG because we want it for the children. We want children to watch it on a replay after the parents get comfortable with the courses. You could play it for your little ones who are being homeschooled or after school or summer schooled and things of that nature, you know. But this is how we give back. This is how we go from talking about some stuff to just actively getting it done. You feel me? Like, I'm my biggest judge. Nobody could judge me the way that I judge myself. But, for the judgment that I may get, you know, I will say that we are inspiring some real powerful creatives. I'm meeting them when I'm going to these cities and I'm popping out. I'm meeting them. I'm meeting them in my email and whatnot. They reaching out to me and whatnot. I'm meeting them when I'm doing these Zoom calls and these town halls and whatnot. You feel me? Yeah, I need a writer. I need everybody that's ready to pull up. That's why I'm doing these shows and I'm dedicating these platforms to having these conversations instead of giving y'all the gossip and the tea about what's going on in the culture. I'm like, let's talk about this powerful stuff so we could plant seeds that will grow and whatnot. So when I'm sitting back 5 years from now, probably in a city that we built. You know what I mean? I can listen to this show and it's a smile on our face because I'm like, yeah, we was on top of shit. We was on top of shit. We was getting, you know what I mean? Like we was out here brainstorming, causing lightning storms and whatnot. We was planting seeds, you know? The future is for those who are prepared for it. There was a report that came out that said that children, right? That China is making AI education mandatory in primary and secondary schools starting September the 1st, 2025. You smell me? You know what that means? That means that they're preparing their children to compete on the highest levels. You know, they're preparing their children not only to compete, they're going to be giving their children the upgrade by utilizing AI to accelerate their teaching in ways that probably couldn't be done in the traditional way. Now, there are some studies that are being done in America. I believe Texas has a success story about a school district that began using AI tutors and it boosted their readings levels and whatnot a few grades above, right? There are success stories when it comes to how children interact with the AI from a teaching tutor perspective, right? You made 5 new shirt designs using chat. Thank you. Thank you. Right? So the key word is accelerating. And the key image to envision is boss baby. We don't have to go any further. Everybody is somewhat familiar with that example that I'm utilizing. Boss baby. That is exactly what you'll be dealing with in about 3 to 4 years with children of a younger age, and they are going to be boss babies by way of the technology. Because what happens when they come out with the AI that could interpret baby language, and they could be prompting shit with just Google Gagas? Right? Like they're gonna have children. They're not even gonna be talking in baby language, but for a few months, once the shit gets accelerated. Like they already know how to use the computer, the laptop, the phone, and everything. It's not going to be a hard integration. But this is what China's doing. They're making AI education mandatory in primary and secondary schools starting September the 1st, 2025. Now, I'm not a reactionary, right? However, I'm not a reactionary. Case in point, there was a book that we wrote last year, right? No, maybe it was 2 years ago. Time is moving so fast. You have to pardon me. But that was when we were doing this, the Masters of the Universe and whatnot. And we put out a book about AI and whatnot for the children. This was around this time with 40 AIs and a mule. Okay. When that classic was out, we put a book out and it was called Boom, AI for Star Seeds. This was right around this time. Remember this? This is a classic. This is what got half of the community on this AI wave, on this techno wave, on this quote unquote, just on this, you know what I'm saying? Just tapping in, you know what I mean? Just mastering their universe. That's the best way I could put it. Just mastering their universe, bending the spoon. But yeah, AI for Star Seeds was the book that I put out. And that right there was doing the same thing that China is telling the children that they got to do, right? That they got to get this AI education mandatory. Okay. That's why I wrote this book right here, right? I put this together for the same reasons. And shout out to all of the, I got so many homeschoolers that hit me up for the book. I got so many parents that hit me up for the book. I got so many quote unquote people were just gifting their children those books and whatnot. I gave out so many books as a gift. I was just giving it out, gifting people like, yo, here for your little ones. But yeah, we need to pay attention to this. We need to pay attention to this and whatnot. They're gonna have a lot of breakthroughs. Donald Trump, by saying that he wants to make America a crypto and an AI superpower, more than likely versus less than likely will probably follow that lead and make that mandatory for the children as well. My advice to all of the parents right now is always to be ahead of the curve, get a head start on things, right? Because that's who we are. We are proactive, not reactive. We are proactive and not reactive. And that move right there, the reason why I showed you the book that was authored 2 years ago is to show you that we were proactive. We're not reacting to what China's doing. We already went ahead and said, yo, put the children and give them this information, give them this science, give them this, get them ready, get them dressed for the party. Get them dressed for the party. Simply, without any judgment and whatnot. Um, yes, the classes are all on Zoom. They are Zoom only. For my Patreons, shout out to y'all. For my Rainbow Opal tier, going all the way up to Citrine tier, you have access. Access is granted for these classes. Okay, access is granted for these classes. This is a perk, all right, of being a Patreon. This is a perk of being a Patreon. Every month, we keep you fed education wise, even entertainment wise sometimes. But we make sure that every month your plates are full with information that you can apply, applicable information, real life information. Okay. And I would definitely suggest that everybody sign up to the Patreon, because I promise you, you can ask anybody that's on Patreon, and this is not me trying to soft sell anything. I'm just saying what you might not know. Every single day on Patreon, the amount of information that gets dropped on that page is equivalent to a Techno Tuesdays episode. I go dumb on I go crazy on Patreon with the information. And this is all I'm dropping: AI tools, I'm dropping GitHub repositories, all shit that you could use. I'm dropping reports, PDFs. Even if you sign up to the Patreon and just go deep diving down the post and whatnot, it's like dumpster diving in the treasure chest. Real talk. It's like dumpster diving in a Gucci store. Feel me? Let us continue. There's a trend that I've noticed, and I've spoke on it a few times. I've been adamant about what I'm seeing and whatnot, and I'm like, yo, this has to be addressed. This has to be spoken of. And what it deals with is one of the most powerful arms of communication in what is known as culture, and that's the media. And when I'm speaking about media, I'm speaking about hip hop media, right? And today's episode is entitled The Great Fall: Hip Hop Media Market Crash. The Great Fall: Hip Hop Media Market Crash. because the market, the stock market on hip hop media has officially crashed. It's a burnt out remnant of a bull market when hip hop media was having a bull run. And hip hop media not only was having a bull run, but it was basically, it had us encapsulated, right? It had our attention. It was very sticky. It was doing numbers, the heights of Drink Champ, the heights of My Expert Opinion, the heights of the Joe Button episode runs and whatnot. These shows were going viral. When Ye was on Drink Champs, viral. I'm talking about these shows were going viral. They were doing, each show was doing 100,000 and better. This is that podcast wave. This is that podcast wave. And even the layers of guests that they were bringing on and whatnot during that run were somewhat interesting. They were not scraping the bottom of the barrel at that point. It didn't turn into the grease bucket that it is right, the grease pit that it is right now. It didn't turn into the cesspool that had turned into it. It wasn't at that frequency in the beginning. I'm speaking of a time around 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and then the decline started happening, right? This show right here is a perfect example. My Expert Opinion, featuring Mav Hoffa. Anybody who is a fan of this show may be familiar with some of the times that we brought Mav Hoffa's show up. They had some moments and whatnot. And if you're also a fan of the show, you also heard me sharing my displeasure with the direction that the show was taken in its later years, right? And my yearning to be a guest on the show was quote unquote relinquished, right? I gave it up. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be on that show no more. And it takes a lot for me to reverse, me wanting to be on the show and whatnot. But when I saw the direction that the show was taking, and then when I saw that the brother was having he was having a lot of issues with, facing the fact that, his business relationships and his personal relationships were not necessarily meeting eye to eye. But even when it came time for him to come, to come clean with some things, he began to struggle with that shit. So that was one of the first quote unquote eye openers and whatnot. And then there was a steady decline in the brother's channel. Now, something very significant happened in his quote unquote downfall. And I'm just reporting the news, about hip hop media, right? Because it's very important, because I promise you, at his heights, with 1 million subscribers, at his heights, he was a problem. When the whole thing was together, when the machine was functioning A1, he was floating. Every episode. And yes, what I noticed and what became a detriment is that Mav Hoffa, who originally, he's a battle rapper, right? He comes out of battle rap. His story is one of a lot of controversy, because he's the battle rapper who sets it off on other battle rappers. He's not known for being intellect. That's not something. He's not even known for having an expert opinion and whatnot. So he kind of found a lane with the podcast, and kudos to him. But ultimately, it was the cast of his podcast that was the It was almost the DNA of the whole thing. He thought it was about him personally, right? He thought it was about Mav Hoffa and not his supporting cast. And when that supporting cast exited stage left and whatnot, it was kind of made apparent that, brother, you can't carry this on your own and keep people entertained and keep it at a certain quality and whatnot. And people started declining, but he had Fat Joe on the show and they went up against the FBA. And that was to me, if you would have asked me, that was the nail in the coffin right there. Because they carpet bombed, fire bombed, and pillaged his village and whatnot. They marched on him, like how General Sherman marched on Atlanta and they burnt that platform down. FBA is like an ant farm. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking? It's like the beehive, my nigga. They on your ass, bro. You know what I mean? When they get on somebody's ass, they eating the carcass. They pack Fat Joe up. You see, they got him up out of here. You don't even see that nigga no more. He having Ozempic withdrawals and whatnot. Fat Joe might come back outside weighing 380, 400 extra pounds or something. Fat Joe might pop out with Dave Blunts on you niggas. You know what I mean? They got Fat Joe eating again. That's how much the FBAs was whooping on him. I'm on your head, boy. You know what I is. So Mav Hoffa was a Vlad TV acolyte, a sack chaser. Then he sided with Fat Joe and he was talking greasy about FBA. Then I think he talked greasy about Lord Jamar. Yeah, bro. Although we go to the end of the road. Yeah, that was it right there. That was it. That was it. I don't that was it. That seems like that's what took the steam out of a lot of things. And he came to the internet and said he lost the barbershop. Something dealing with a subleasing and the landlord, beef with the landlord. So he's out of here. He's out of here. And he's one of many people who are taking what they call in the young culture the sad way out. You know, exit stage left. Don't pass. Go. Don't pass two. Don't collect $200. Go straight past go. Like they packing niggas up in this world of hip hop journalism, right? The podcasters are dying off. That show, that boat, the sail, that they're beginning to settle the sails, bro. Another person who took a knee and tapped out and waved the flag and basically was like, yo, we fumbled the bag. We lost the building, or we're selling the building for that matter, right? And also, by the way, the Mav Hoffa, I believe he was a Dr. Sabi hater. He was the same platform that I saw. They had a conversation about drill rap was good for New York. When I saw that, he was. I had to say, oh no, I can't be on that show. I thought he was one of us. I was like, what the fuck? He's having a show and they're even questioning, they're even entertaining the question. That's why I knew there was something wrong. So his platform, I don't know if it's over. I don't know if I don't know if it's like lights out. I just know that you know, it's either going to bounce back and be the best thing ever, or that shit is gonna fade away. And another platform that we spoke about that needed to disappear faster than we could say Adam 22 is No Jumper. And Adam 22 went live the other day and he himself said that No Jumper was going broke No Jumper as a platform will probably no longer exist. They're going to be selling the building that they've been utilizing as a front. Translation. Who saw the movie Donnie Brasco when they had to take that nigga up out of there because he was getting too deep in his undercover assignment? Remember Donnie Brasco when they had to pack him up? They literally fake locked him up to make it seem like he was going down with the mobsters and whatnot. That's the same thing with Adam Grand Mason. It was a motherfucking operation from the gate. It was an operation from the giddy up. He's not selling things off. He's not closing down. He's just retiring. It's just getting too close for comfort at this point. They got enough Ricos. They've got enough investigations. They know everything that they need to know. And Adam 22 is gonna move on to do some other police shit. That's what's happening. They pulling him out because he's in too deep. He's in too deep, so he's getting pulled out and whatnot. But he already debriefed them. When they came to his house and they said the feds came to his house, no. Know the difference between a debriefing and when you get locked up and you get interrogation. They did not interrogate Adam Graham Mason. They debriefed him. And then they asked him, do you want to pull out? And he said, please, nigga, pull me out. I'm in too deep. This shit is getting too real now. You got big draws and all of these guys around me, and they're going to find out I'm one of y'all in a minute. They're going to find out. You know what I mean? He's going to be taking a stand. If they take down somebody like I don't think that they could take a Whack 100 down because Whack definitely is one of them. I mean, I don't know who the big fish is. I really don't. I can't tell you who is the big fish that they're looking for, but you know, this is all a open air assignment in real time. It's some ill shit, but it is what it is. You know, Hip Hop Inc. has been quote unquote beyond infiltrated. You know, it's on a petri dish. It's like it's in a lab right now. It's like the same lab that they had in Who Cloned Tyrone. That's the petri dish that they got the culture in, and they doing all kind of weird shit with it because they can, you know, because they can. So Adam 22, federal indictments. Look out and remember, Adam 22 is Adam 12, which is a classic cop show. I'm gonna show you right now, in case you didn't know. It was right there in your face the whole time. Adam 12 is the police. 10 years later, he becomes Adam 22. Still the police, right? Still the police. Okay. And what I'm saying is it's the police because it's glorifying gang culture. He's platforming gang culture. He's highlighting gang culture and not in a negative sense. He's giving gang culture a culture. Mind you, this is a corn star. Him and his wife have a corn star business, right? On the side. This is what they do. They do corn, right? So they're utilizing these gangbangers and they're utilizing black culture as a lead magnet for their corn business. You don't see how that works? Okay. The danger in the shit is the fact that impressionable children, save the babies, impressionable children, save the babies, young adults, and a lot of people around the world get coerced by the bullshit. It's the propaganda more so than the propagandist. All right. Adam 22, he's a patsy. He's a patsy. You know? But yeah, they playing a lot of games. And all of these, I foresee these podcasters, you feel me? The podcasters, right? They're gonna fall off. They're going to fall by the wayside. Um, they had a run, and that run is kind of over. You know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, that run has come to an end. All good things come to an end. And the new people that are taking over, right? And the new people who are dominating this place is the streamers.
In this stream and wrap it up. It's not the London for sure now. What is that? Is anybody seeing that? What is this place? Is that a dragon? China, here I come. See y'all soon.
So at this point, right, they got them doing full Hollywood like commercials, right? The streamers, that is. Casanet, iShowSpeed, they're putting millions of dollars behind these content creators and whatnot. And they're taking them on these quote unquote global expeditions, right? This is something that the podcasters were not able to do, right? iShowSpeed, let me show this real quick, just to show you the difference between the growth and whatnot. iShowSpeed went to China and basically shut down China for about a week or two. He was the biggest thing in China when he was in China. He was so big in China that the Chinese government, right, made him an ambassador for Chinese relations, right? He had a China takeover. This kid does backflips and barks like a dog and whatnot, right? And nothing to take away anything from Speed, because amongst all of them, I like iShowSpeed the best. You feel me? Just in character and whatnot, right? Just in character, I respect iShowSpeed for his stance for Palestine. You know, he does what he does. He's a little kid and whatnot, but his story, a lot of that shit that I checked out, I'm like, yo, he's a good kid. He's a good kid. He's sincere. You know what I mean? Huge in China. Okay, one of the biggest things in China was a streamer, right? To whereas he's showing you, right, as if you needed to know. But if you do need to know, he's living proof that anywhere that we go, because he's no different than you at the end of the day. He's famous because he's a streamer and whatnot. But at the end of the day, he's just showing you around the world, right, that the black man, the Moor, right, the Moor, the one who was the traveler, we would do the same thing that Speed is doing as Moors. We will go on expeditions around the world and whatnot and visit kingdoms, and we would show them we would show off our physical prowess. We would engage in ceremonies and whatnot, festivals, all type of shit, and they would praise us, and they would be in awe of our presence. This is something that the Moors were famous for, traveling the seven seas. So the way that we do it now is artists go on world tours and they go on their global tour, they go on their European run, they go on their South America run, they go on their Asia run, right? The Moors was doing shit like Mansa Musa was going on runs like that. You feel me? We had troubadours and whatnot. They would go on runs like that around the globe. You feel me? So this is something that Mav Hoffa and they were not operating at levels like this. This is youth culture, right? The youth understand this more than adults do. So, the people will be seeing this and be like, what the hell is Red Pill talking about? But this is like a phenomenon in the youth world right now where I show speed. And by even going to China, he's gonna have more people want to visit China. You feel me? And not be afraid of China and not be intimidated by China and whatnot. And when it comes to China, you said that they still racist over there. They racist everywhere. They racist everywhere. They racist everywhere. They racist over here too. I'm in the South. They racist. You know what I'm saying? But what does that mean? That doesn't mean much. You know what I'm saying? Because I promise you, it be the same people that's racist that want to quote unquote take pictures, touch you, be all around you. You know what I'm saying? Be all, you know what I mean? Be all in the pictures with you. So yes. He's bigger than just a streamer. He gets into activism and stuff like that. So that part about him, I respect because he could have been one of these dumbed down streamers who just want to live in their childhood brain and whatnot. But for anybody that's doing anything that's not some super ignorant shit, you're not gonna find Unk hating on them. Schoolie Red is not gonna sit back and throw rocks at youth culture if they're doing things that are different than the shit that I'm tired of seeing. You know, because I'm tired of seeing nigga shit. I'm tired of seeing niggas export nigga shit and whatnot. I'm tired of it. World boss, world boss in Brooklyn this weekend. I wish I could make it for that. I want to be in the building for that. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in the building for that. Nah, he did some activism with Palestine. He did some activism with Palestine. He stands strong on the Palestine shit. And at the end of the day, what the fuck what more do you need from iShow Speed? Like these are streamers. These are streamers. For them to say anything political is a plus, but they're streamers who are entertaining teenagers, right? They're not for the adults. That's why I'm kind of tight that they be pushing Castanet to adults and they push the streamers to old heads and adults. They're not for adults. They're for children. I'm just informing people about them because they're part of the pop culture now. But none of this streaming shit is for adults for the most part. If you're like 30 and over, like that's not for you. That's not your world. There's different worlds that coexist that are folding into your world now because the youth, the younger world that they are moving, that generation is they are kind of like their planet is in the orbit of our planet now, if that makes any sense. You know? And once again, I Show Speed and Castanet, they do childish things. Don't let me get up here and act like these are kids. These are still kids. You know? These are still kids. So they'll mature throughout the world. Y'all out here pity pat, whatever you may say about the streamers, none of them are perfect, but they are part of youth culture. and it is what it is. None of them are perfect the way that you want perfect to be. None of them are that, right? None of them are that. And it is what it is. You know? But what I know about kids and teenagers and young adults is that they mature throughout time. And those that don't, we throw them away. You know? We throw them away. But as long as they not promoting the drilling and killing and stealing and all of these things that are very detrimental and degenerate in our culture and helping to influence youth to crash out and throw their lives away, then we gotta accept something. You gotta meet them somewhere. You know what I'm talking about? You gotta meet them somewhere. Y'all want Dalai Lamas and whatnot. Well, then raise those. If you want a Dalai Lama, you gotta raise a Dalai Lama. You gotta be hands on to raise a Dalai Lama. You have to mold. You gotta be your hands, your fingerprints gotta be on the next Dalai Lama set of children. But other than that, you're gonna get factory. And these little niggas is lit. You know what I'm talking about? The factories, yeah, they turned up. Little gremlins. They turned and the world is theirs. They feel like the world is theirs. The world is their oyster. You know? The world is their oysters. And the aunties like them too. So the streamers have eclipsed the YouTubers, the podcasters, and the content creators, right? You got iShowSpeed. He just had his historic run in China, public relations W, right? Kai Sinet, he's breaking records, making millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? From his paid supporters. That's a new business model that the whole Twitch platform is. It's not a new business model, but it's some of the most successful examples of how that business model, the subscription business model, is being utilized, and it's through the streamers, right? They have paid audience. They have an audience that is a paid audience, and they also have a free audience. They have paid supporters, and they also have millions from sponsors, right? And endorsements. Did we see the Hudson helicopter? Yeah, I said I was crazy. I said, yeah, it's crazy. Black Boy Max, he's a hip hop streamer out of the FaZe Clan. He's doing production on music and whatnot in real time. He has a studio that he has artists come over and make music in real time. These are the streamers that are basically taking over the quote unquote field. I don't know if I call it hip hop journalism because it's not hip hop journalism at all. They're not doing hip hop journalism one bit. Will I be doing a fantasy industry bundle deal? Yes, we will be doing a bundle deal for all of the tech workshops. We will. I think once we're finished at 4, Black Boy falling because it's yeah. Yep. Yeah, they be, they like I said, these are kids, These are kids. They do weird shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not promoting their weirdness either. I'm just giving you the heads up about who the hottest names in that field is right now. Like who's taking over the quote unquote industry of what the new media. It's almost like they're transforming media in a way, and balancing it, between what the streamers are doing and then, of course, what Unc and all of them are doing with these podcasts and whatnot, you know. But it's definitely a shift. It's a power shift taking place right now. It's a changing of the guards. You know, it's a changing of the guards. And we need more people in our community to be a part of hip hop media. You know, utilize a new medium for it, though. Don't go the old route with the podcast. Do it from another perspective. Like, do it, you know, maybe as an animated AI broadcast, or, you know, I don't know. But we need a new spin on hip hop media that is going to keep it 1000 and it's going to introduce us to new music and whatnot. We're doing something on our end with Hippopolis, with Brother Rich, me and Blue. But we need more people on the dance floor. That's important. We need more people on the dance floor. This is not going to happen overnight. You feel me? This is not going to happen overnight. The small hats will assign Aiden Ross to take out academics because of his platform, and yay, watch him turn. Yep, I'm watching. I'm definitely paying attention to that. You know, Aiden Ross is another name to throw in there. He's the protagonist. As you can see, he got the niggas boxing now. He's doing the boxing shit. So he's basically like, let me exploit niggas by just letting them fight each other. All of the little beefs that the streamers have, we're gonna let them box it out and whatnot. And because that culture, they're into UFC, they're into MMA, they're into wrestling, they're into shit like that. They eat that up. They want to see the celebrity boxing. They want to see streamers knuckle up and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's a sport. It's a sport. So, yeah. But yeah, man, I'm excited about tomorrow's class with the good brother. I encourage everybody that's listening who want to tap into your imagination and you want to bring stories to life. You want to bring characters to life. You want to bring worlds to life. I encourage you, be a part of this 4-week workshop, and you will exit the workshop with your quote unquote completions, your task complete. You will have a prototype of whatever you have in your head. It will be literally in your hands at the end of 4 weeks. You feel me? So yeah, man. With that being said, I'm about to get up out of here. I got to get back to putting this presentation together for class, still doing some research and, just getting to the books. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and light. We will see you. We may be doing Saturday Night Live and Sacrilegious Sundays. We'll let you know. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. All right. Make sure you hit the like button. Okay. Make sure you comment. And we will see you very, very soon. Oh, yeah. We do have the new drip inside of the store. All right. KTL, the Mark 125th. We got the new drip inside of there. The new drip is inside of the store. Make sure y'all go and check that out. You know what I'm talking about. And also the replay for Fear of a Black and More Messiah featuring B-Dale. All right, 1014, Alkebalon 44, Blue Pillar 44, Red Pillar 44. All right. So yeah, go and check out those shirts. This new drip is available in the Mart. All right. For anybody that was asking. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, and light. We will see you very soon.
Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Facts. Red, blue, purple light, friends. Red know the legend. My love, just open your third eye on Thursday. Lord, the food, the art, the clothes, the Vatican's getting exposed fast. We put the show on the road. You better stay on your toes. I was till the land, focused on the ego. Then I open my heart, let go of the ego. Grand after grand, we're stacking up these C notes. Facts, facts, yeah. We gon' put this shit on our backs. Facts, facts. We in your city, pull up where we at. Facts, facts. Peace, love and light. Peace, love. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family, peace, love, and light. To the family.
These days and time, black man, is going to be the time that you have been waiting for. You came here for a reason. Whatever pressure, whatever adversity, whatever the fuck you feel, I don't know what you feel, but whatever you may be feeling is going to push you, and it's going to provoke you, and it's either going to make you or break you, similar to how pressure busts pipes or the shit makes diamonds.